Friday, everybody. This is Adam Barreto. Uh, Grateful to be here with Minhua, talking about real estate this week.
Good afternoon, Adam and everybody. Happy Friday and happy Good Friday to everybody as well. And thank you, Adam, for jumping in again into our weekly market update conversation. So, Adam, I think I want to ask question first at this time. Are you ready for my question?
I'm ready. We have a short week, so I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I have this recent burning question, especially a lot of people were just in the week to pay mortgage payment and pay property tax as well. If you haven't paid it, today is the due date. But there's also mortgage payment delay that you can apply if there's any hardship. Do you think people should take advantage of this? Do you think people should delay their mortgage payment?
So the quick answer would be no. And the primary reason is, first and foremost, it's geared towards people who are directly affected by COVID-19, who are unable to do so. So not everybody who applies will be granted that. Secondly, I would contact your service provider directly, whoever's servicing your loan, and find out what the rules and regulations are regarding forbearance and delayed, deferred financing right now. Primarily because you're hearing a little bit of chatter from different directions. Some servicers are stating that they'll add the 3 months back or 6 months back to the end of the loan. Some servicers are saying, essentially it's going to be almost like a balloon payment, not to scare anybody, but that's sort of the reality. Some servicers are saying that, if you're deferred for 6 months, that they're going to want one whole lump sum payment, right? That's a balloon payment at that point. Otherwise you'd be considered late or defaulted. And so that can prove to be more problems than solutions. And so if you have the money, if you are not in that direct affected class, I would urge you 100% to continue to make your payments, to continue to stay current with your loan, just to avoid any kind of difficult situations, truthfully, in the future, because
Gotcha.
Pay if you can, please.
Yes.
It's going to be less stressful in the long run. I promise you that.
Wow, that's a very powerful insight. I think a lot of people who just follow the news might not understand the ins and outs of if they do want to take advantage and delay their payment, but it might not be an advantage at all. Okay. I also have a real question talking about people are still looking or not, or considering buying. There are still buyers considering purchasing home, maybe not right now. So this is a question from a potential buyer. If I am thinking about purchasing home in the summer, so after the spring, after the crisis is over, is it too early to contact lender to get pre-approval?
So I would say it's never too early to get an assessment, right? And so obviously we don't know exactly what we would qualify for as a consumer, as a borrower. So getting to your local professional or, who run all the numbers with you and really sort of give you insight of where you're going, will actually help you create a game plan so that, 2, 3, 4 months or whatever time frame you're looking at occurs, you'll be able to get on that path and sort of clear up any potential issues that are moving forward. And so you'll have a very clean mortgage file, essentially. So is it too early to contact your mortgage professional? Absolutely not. I don't, there's people who call me a year in advance, and we just sort of create a game plan that we follow up with quarterly. And if you're looking in, 4 months from now, pre-approvals last about 90 days. A lot of, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Minhua, but a lot of realtors and sellers sort of want pre-approvals within the last 60 days, even though they're approved for 90 days. A lot of times they'll want to see a more current pre-approval
Yes.
letter.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so to actually go through the whole gamut of getting pre-approved, if you're looking in 6 months from now and you're definitively know that you're not buying anything before 6 months, I would wait a little bit longer. But if there's that potential thought that if something hits the market, I would for sure recommend you speaking with your advisor now and getting pre-approved now, just in case something hits the market.
Let's say I got pre-approved 3 months ago. My pre-approval expired. How hard is to get a new pre-approval since I already have the file?
It's not hard. Typically, what we'll have to do is rerun credit, right? Because we will have to see if there's anything that's changed, your monthly payments, any new lines of credit, that have trade lines, credit cards, anything like that, any car loans, any new furniture, credit cards, or anything like that.
Or any new trips.
Exactly.
Once the
I don't think
quarantine
anyone.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's pretty inexpensive to travel from your bathroom to your kitchen. So, but yeah, I would say that it's not hard. It's just getting updated information, updated forms like your pay stubs and stuff like that. Addressed this last week. You know, as solid as your pre-approval is going through your advisor, you want to make sure that you check with them, you know, way more often now than I think we have dealt with in the past, just because new rules, new regulations have come into effect, and you want to always make sure that you're on the right path, especially when you're coming through, you know, buying your home or whatnot. So constantly, I would just check at least once a week with your advisor and make sure. They should be following up with you, to be honest. But you know, to each their own. But to do your own due diligence, right? We can only rely on ourselves to go out there and make sure that we have the right information. I would definitely recommend you or our clients to reach out weekly just to make sure that everything stayed the same and that they're still qualified for everything.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the details.
I'm off the hot seat now, so I'm happy to be able to come out with questions now. You know, we're obviously in week 3. Some of us week 4, since we've the stay-at-home ordinance has been in place. There's a lot of things that are constantly changing, and so I've heard, you know, people still visiting homes, but I know that there's beginning to get more stricter rules on that, and so I wanted to sort of ask you, like, what's okay and what's not for an agent. You know, granted, we understand that real estate professionals, as yourself, are considered essential jobs, but what restrictions do you have?
Well, the shelter-in-place ordinance definitely is still in place, and however, as we mentioned last week, realtors are considered essential business, or real estate is considered essential business. But that was according to the verbiage in the ordinance or order. It's really geared towards construction, inspection, and notary, and that type of service that's related to business and transaction. Whether to show or view a property in person physically is really about how strict the local ordinance is. So some cities and counties has more strict ordinance than the state has posted. For example, Los Angeles City, not just the county, actually ban all the in-person showings and open houses. So more and more tools are being utilized, and of course, multiple listing has been utilized, virtual showing and virtual open house, including, you know, have an open house on Facebook that people can view the videos, could view a live video, can follow on the lifetime. So there's continue to be a lot of different creative ways. So for example, the showing time that you book showings, there is an opportunity to book a virtual showing now. So we definitely add in more services and tools to allow our clients to not to take that risk. And there's also property viewing advisory and declaration, specifically used by California realtors associated with California Association of Realtors to really spouse out the advices and the risks the sellers, the buyers, the agents are taking if they are view properties in person or in non-virtual ways. And that needs to be actually disclosed and signed by the sellers, buyers, and agents who are involved.
Which, frankly, I mean, I'm happy about, to be honest. I mean, we want to be able to control this whole pandemic, and to do so is just to sort of be respectful of everybody, right? And do our due diligence to make sure that we don't put anybody in harm's way. So I'm glad CR and the county and the state and the cities implementing things are it's good. I'm glad. So so obviously, I mean, what's going on with the market now? I mean, there's I don't know. It's been raining over here in Lakewood, for 2-3 straight days, and what's going on?
Yeah, and we barely see the sun today, huh? I want to say this has been a very flat week, as I consistently mentioned before, and I'm going to mention it today again. There are people who are still listing their home. There are people who still are making inquiries about buying homes or whether this is a good time to sell or buy homes. The questions are all typical and the activities are all typical, but I think from a broader perspective, if we look at the whole state, the activities, the volume of the activities definitely have been going down this week and since last week or since the beginning of March or the middle of the March. So it is an uncertain time now, and the uncertainty becomes the new normal. So I think the conversations start to shift to see whether we are going to we definitely will rebound, right? So I think the conversation really shift to, are we going to have a V-shape rebound, which is immediately going back up, right? The market activities wise, all the other index related to this, or a U shape. So you have a little bit prolonged depressed time, then you will go up. So I think that really nobody knows. Yeah. For example, because nobody can see the future. That's really the conversation is about. So a lot of people, even though a lot of people are trying to reach their real estate goals, there are also a lot of people are pausing taking a pause.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I mean,
I'm so sorry. It's really not exciting. It's possibly the flattest the week since beginning of the March, I want to say.
I think everyone's expecting it. I mean, it's a weird time. I mean, like I said, it's Good Friday. It's Easter Sunday. It's That's abnormal, true. Right? We're not going to have everybody in the parks, celebrating together. I know that we're all separated, but I know that we're all dealing with the same issue. So things can't always be on incline and improving. We're hopeful, and thanks for having me today and having this session, because honestly, it's sort of been boring today for me. So I'm excited.
But if anybody want to hear some hopeful news, economists are saying 2021, we might see growth, not just the real estate market. We just see the growth of economy at 5.1%, which I don't think we ever had recently, right? We were like 2%, barely 3%. So if that's true, which we don't know yet because it's 2021.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, from what I've been hearing from economists as well, the end of the year will spike.
Really? I'm excited.
Yeah, they're expecting it, and so I'm expecting it. I'm hopeful. I just want to reiterate, if going back to your question earlier about the forbearance and stuff, if you can afford it, please make your payments. It's something that you should really do to keep yourself out of trouble and any kind of potential issues that may come up from it. And I say it for a second time because it's really that important. You
Right.
don't
I
want to
was
be
about to
caught.
say.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught, in any
Yeah.
kind of predicament. We're already in a crisis right now. Let's not add to any of our own problems
Mm-hmm.
by doing things that we don't necessarily need to do.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Yeah, I think your message definitely make me more mindful about decisions on these payments. So I appreciate that. So I hope we're going to get some sun next week, which I don't know either.
I
But
have it's my wife's an April baby, and so it's her birthday next week. So I have to figure out something. What can I do from
oh,
home to celebrate for her when it's her, me, her, and our dog. So I got to figure something out.
yeah, keep us posted. I would love to know how people celebrate birthdays and other special occasions during this very special time.
Special time.
Yeah.
Yes. Enjoy
Okay.
your loved
Enjoy.
ones, everyone.
Yeah. What did you say? Sorry. We're
Oh, I
talking.
said, enjoy your loved ones, everyone. Happy Easter. Thank you,
Happy
Minhua.
Easter. Thank you, Adam. And hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.